Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni says she has been accused of complicity in genocide in Gaza at the World Court. Meloni says a complaint has been filed at the International Criminal Court, or the ICC, over Italy's support for Israel. She said the complaint also targets two of her ministers, Defence Minister Guido Crosetto and Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani. According to reports, the complaint dated October the 1st was filed by an advocacy group for Palestinians. It was signed by around 50 individuals, including law professors, lawyers and public figures. The complaint claims that by supplying weapons to the Israeli government, Italy has become complicit in the alleged genocide and the serious war crimes committed against the Palestinian people. Meloni said she does not think there is another case in the world or in history of this kind. She denied the accusations, stating that Italy has not authorised new arms supplies to Israel after the October 7th attack by Hamas.
So, in order to continue mocking and torturing Ethiopian genocide victims, Italian Prime Minister Meloni reported to ICC for complicity in genocide. The madness continues. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has been reported to the ICC for complicity in genocide. Not for her documented complicity in the genocide of up to 2 million Ethiopian Christians, but in a non-existent and fake Gaza genocide. One of the many Edomite and Ishmaelite babysitters of genocidal Abiy Ahmed, Giorgia Meloni said on Tuesday that she and two of her ministers had been reported to the International Criminal Court for alleged complicity in genocide in connection with Israel's offensive in Gaza. This is how the Luciferians play their satanic game. How crazy! This world is in a total mess. People have lost their minds and have no critical thinking skills. Let Muslims exhibit aggressive rapes, genocide of Christians and Jews. There is no world government, though elites have worked to create it to give legitimacy to their power, now partially hidden in the shadows. Watching the top leaders of the EU offers a sense of what such governance would be. The Nuremberg trials gave a blueprint for the ICC, but it is essentially toothless without consensus about particular criminal matters by members with the reach, money, and influence necessary to accomplish the arrests and prosecutions. In effect, it is a political weapon and tarball shame cannon, aspiring to be the court authority of a non-existent world government. The ICC assumption that it could arrest Russia's Putin or Israel's Netanyahu is an indication of how much hubris and delusion the ICC represents. There is no clear indication of who might be running the next Nuremberg trials. It could be the US, Russia, or nobody. The world might be a smoking mess. The International Criminal Court has become an antichrist and a racist farce. The International Criminal Court has become an antichrist and a racist farce. The International Criminal Court is a perfect example of how a necessary and well-intentioned institution can become corrupt, farcical, and useless when controlled by unipolar forces. One can look to the Giorgia Meloni and co-sponsored genocidal war led by the evil Nobel Peace Prize laureate Abiy Ahmed against Ethiopian Orthodox Christians, the NATO-led illegal war on Orthodox Christians of Yugoslavia, the fascist war against Orthodox Christians of Ukraine and Donbass, George Bush and Tony Blair's disaster in Iraq, Hillary Clinton's pet project in Libya, and the American, Turkish, British, French and Belgian invasion and bombings of Syria and empowerment of genocidal Islamists there, all of which run contrary to international law. No one at the ICC has seriously looked into any of these genocides and war crimes, although they were vastly more devastating than anything which has recently occurred in terrorism hotspot Gaza. Yet, this wicked anti-Christian world likes to talk 24/7 about the fake Gaza genocide and turning a blind eye to the horrific global persecution and genocide of Christians, to circumvent accountability for their diabolical actions. The current tragic war drama in the Middle East is another dishonest sophistic deflection from the ongoing ethnic cleansing and genocide in Armenia, Syria, Nigeria, Congo, and Ethiopia. As you see, the international system established to prevent and prosecute genocide is fundamentally flawed, as its effectiveness is consistently undermined by political interests and selective enforcement, allowing states and actors to circumvent accountability with impunity. The Luciferian agent and former Prime Minister of Britanistan, Tony Blair, who enabled Christian genocide in Iraq, is now selected by Trump and company to become a temporary governor of Gaza. Mind-blowing, isn't it? Tony Blair's war crime in Iraq being totally ignored by the ICC as reason enough for some African states to leave the ICC. Britain, after all, is a full participant in the ICC, but Tony Blair continues to enjoy his freedom and privacy. The ICC's uneven allocation of justice raises many questions. Whilst a war crime anywhere ought to be treated with utter seriousness, I cannot blame African countries for increasingly seeing the ICC as an organization whose reach doesn't go beyond Africa. Unipolarity in the world cannot coexist with international justice. The sooner people realize this, the better. So if you are a Christian, Black African, a Russian, or a Serb, then do not commit war crimes. But if you are anything else, the ICC and sister tribunals have more or less given you a get-out-of-genocide-free card. We are living in an evil, hypocritical, wicked, carnal, and primitive world. No one wants/dares to report the most evil and genocidal individual on the planet, Abiy Ahmed and his many babysitters, like Giorgia Meloni, in connection with the ongoing Christian genocide in Ethiopia, because they all hate Christians and want to see their extermination. In Ethiopia, a genocide has been underway since November 2020. The deadliest country no one wants to report truthfully about is Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, from November 2020 till today, 1.5 million Orthodox Christians were brutally massacred. 200,000 Orthodox Christian women, children, and nuns were raped and abused. Over 1 million Ethiopians were forced to migrate to other countries. 4.4 million internally displaced people severely impacted by conflict, hostilities, and climate shocks. Over 1 million female Ethiopian slaves sold to Arab countries. 20 million Ethiopian forced to experience food insecurity by the fascist Oromo Islamic Army of the Nobel Peace Laureate Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his UN, Arab, Israeli, Turkish, Iranian, European, American, Russian, Ukrainian and African allies.